everyone, so I have a video on how to do these shadow smocked hearts that I'll link below. When it came to doing the outline and stem stitch around the hearts, it proved to be much more difficult than I thought, and I looked for help online but I couldn't find any tutorial for outlining a heart on pleats like this. So after some trial and error, I finally got it looking alright, and I wanted to share the tips and tricks with you all. So I found it best to start in the upper left hand corner. You can see that I'm tying on by making a loop and wrapping my thread around the needle twice and then pulling tight. Then I go up on the right side of the fabric, and here I'm doing the outline stitch since my thread is above my needle. I go to the next pleat over and pull through as so. I'm really glad there's a visual here because it's hard to explain with just your words, and I am not the best with just my words anyways. But you'll keep going to the next pleat over one at a time and putting your thread above your needle. I found the outline stitch to be the prettiest here, so just follow that gradual curve. Actually, it kept reminding me of the derivative in calculus, you know, being tangent to the curve. Anyhow, just keep gradually making that curve as you go to the next pleat. If you start to see a curve that you don't like, just pull it out and start again. Don't think that you can just save it by continuing on to the next stitch. It will get worse, trust me. So then you'll get to the point of the heart, and I switch to the stem stitch here. Notice that my thread is now below my needle. I did it both ways. Some hearts were entirely done with the outline stitch and others entirely done with the stem stitch. I found it prettiest to switch as I'm showing, but it's the same concept. Just keep going over to the next pleat, keeping your thread below your needle now. Very gradual curves. Now this is where I found it to be tricky, going down the heart sides. I found it best to take bigger stitches. This was after much trial and error with tiny stitches, but those tiny stitches just look like a hot mess to me. I found it better to do some longer stitches, and you'll see that I'm doing the outline stitch again since my thread is above my needle. And can I just say, filming this close while doing embroidery type work is really difficult. You'll find out just how much you move your fabric around when you try doing this. So I'm doing my best by trying to film this. So you can see that I've turned that corner and am now working on the lower part of that heart, still doing the stem stitch as my thread is below my needle. Also, I'm not pulling my thread too taut. I found that that will turn your work into a hot mess in a hurry. You'll want to leave some space. So I continued working in this manner until I got to the bottom of my heart. And then you can switch to the outline stitch again. I forgot to switch, which is why you see me moving my needle down, and it's a super easy way to fix that, so you don't have to rethread your needle or anything like that if you forget as well. And just continue with the outline stitch, you know, thread above your needle in the same manner, leaving some space between those plates. And then, just as we do with the other side of the heart, lengthen your stitches when you get to that side. You just need to stitch a handful of those longer stitches and turning gradually with each stitch, and then you'll be back at the starting point. I went on the inside of that starting stitch and set my needle to the wrong side of my work so I could tie off in the same manner as before. So I hope this was helpful. If y'all have any questions, please leave them in the comments below and I will do my best to answer them. As always, I appreciate y'all for watching, and I hope to catch y'all next time.